everyone, Joe here from ActionX, and welcome to What's in the Tube, or welcome back. This is your 18th and final Matlock Season 2 episode review. Hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe out there in the bigger world. Honestly, I'm supremely surprised I didn't get spoiled by this finale, but this finale was probably one of the best season finales that I've ever reviewed on What's in the Tube history. And we've done nearly 700 official reviews, over 700 reviews in general on the channel, and we've reviewed tons of season finale. And it's been very hard for me to say like when a season finale really hits. It's like this feels like this could have worked as like an open-ended series finale had the show not been renewed. But the way they ended is just like it comes full circle, but it gives you a little bit of a tease of like what you want to see. And honestly, I think that's the best position for a show to be at. And arguably, I'm just very excited to see what is next in general. But just in general, with this episode specifically, it wrapped up not just season 2, it wrapped up the whole first two season arc. And it's like, it's kind of going back to like, again, like Jenny, the creator, did this so well was like with Jane the Virgin. It's like Jane the Virgin, arguably you can look at it as like it is a whole story, and I feel like that's what she's doing here again. But like there's going to be different books, chapters, whatever. This concludes one chapter of the story, and it sets up a whole different one as a result, which I'm very interested to see how they're gonna progress with that. As again, there's so many questions, and I'll be filming my season 3 predictions video in the next couple days just because to get my thoughts out. Also take some time to, reflect on the season, so, but yeah, no, the way this ended was really well done. They managed to blend everything perfectly, and, I'm not gonna say it's a perfect finale. I really am not. They're definitely leaving some strands open in general, but this was, for me, I think, one of my favorite season finales I've ever watched in recent histories. It's really been hard for shows that I've watched of like, yeah, no, it's just like, we'll catch you guys next year. We'll catch you guys down the road. This one's like, yeah, satisfied, but you get to see us again. Which I think, honestly, is a very nice feeling. It was a very nice feeling to have. But with that being said, let's go through the Butcher recap and talk about the season finale, the season 2 finale for Matlock. So we pick up kind of almost where we left off last time. Maddie, Juliet, and Olympia are kind of some semi-admitting defeat to the fact that the case is essentially done with the study in place. There's not really anything they can do from a current like auditing standpoint, considering the fact it is done. The audit, the report is there, and there's not much they can do about it. They're trying to figure out what they can do. They only got a few days before the merger, before Senior will retire, and his entire immunity to his entire like plausibility, this entire thing will be essentially out the window. They're kind of up against a pickle here as they're trying to figure out what exactly they can do. And Julian's like, why don't we just redo the whole case again? Let's start back over, square one, which I'm like, bro, we took over a year to get to this point. You want to really restart now? But yeah, so they essentially go through the entire, I guess, definitive Senior timeline, so to speak. It's taken us a whole 2 seasons to figure this out, but now it's here. This is the whole official timeline. Going through it, it's just now they're just trying to figure out what exactly they can do, and maybe at this point it's like, well, let's prove that there was the official transfer of money between Senior and the Wolf to at least confirm that there was an intent to pay off someone with $35,000. So that is kind of like their next objective right now to confirm that, so to speak. But everyone dissipates. They kind of have to get ready to go back to how things were before. Maddie, says that, okay, yeah, tomorrow it's time for me to reunite with an old friend. We assume it's Sarah, who Sarah has kind of returned to her season 1 type of trope of like not being friendly, literally is here to do the task at hand, and that's it. Maddie's conversation in the previous episode has not been hitting so well with Sarah, as again, she was in this position of like trying to figure out her future between people that presumably cared about her. And then again, Julian said, don't worry about me, I may not be around, so don't put your horse in a wagon for me. And obviously Olympia is just pushing her and rushing her a bit, and Maddie's keeping the whole, Kingston and Lawrence aspect from her, so she's very much out of it. So she's like, you know what, I'm just here, I'm going to focus on the job at hand, and if I get an opportunity to transfer somewhere else, I'll take it. As they come up the floor, they get meet a bunch of big wigs that are being escorted by the merger lady as everything's solidified in a few days from now. Jake and Sapor will be no more. Now it will be a much larger law firm conglomerate. I can't speak English tonight. And yeah, so it's very much telling that like it's looming. The loom is coming for the merger. So the timeline is definitely on for Maddie to put this case to bed. Sarah does yell at Hunter because Sarah's kind of gone back to that season 1 trip of like not taking shit, not really like taking things for granted, like really like I need results now, and Hunter's like chill out, and he actually like bursts his cool guy motif, which I'm like damn, when someone's in Zen mode and you break that Zen mode, it's like it says a lot about what you're bringing to the table. From there, we get back to the case of the week where they bring in another witness who can kind of testify that, you know, to the client's credit, you know, he was a very good worker. He did nothing wrong, but he was claiming sadly the conspiracy nut fears. Like, oh, they were the ramp and everything was bugged. They were like had recording devices anywhere. You know, the Port Authority, they want to like get us on something, so they're trying to plan everything possible to get some sort of like legitimate evidence. Which the team kind of went from like in like oh, and then like oh, okay, not much we could do about that. But they decided to run another. My apologies. Another subpoena over another record that they could potentially launch in, as Maddie goes back to court with no longer Monica about the possibility of lecturing in another potential avenue of a research to determine the validity of the ramp's condition, which according now Monica said, we already had that. That was done already. We are moved past that. Maddie's like, okay, first of all, you say that, but at the end of the day, you did the same card and we had to let your evidence in, so why can't you do the same? And the judge is like, yeah, no, she's right. If you get it too, she's got to get it too. So, okay, that's it. It's in him. Now I guess like, that's just great. That's just lovely. I'm trying to remember exactly where we were at this point. I can't recall, to be honest with you. I remember the latter half so well, not much of the first half, to be honest. It's blanking in my brain right now. Yeah, Maddie goes to visit her O connection, which happens to be Evelyn. If you don't remember, Evelyn was the lady that originally made the Reddit tip many years ago about Jacobson Moore essentially messing with the Brexit documents. But you know, obviously we haven't seen her since the start of season 2, so where she's been at. Apparently she had to take new employment at this dog grooming business. And immediately she sees Maddie, it's like, oh! It's like so dramatic. And then her boss / boyfriend comes in saying that, look, you really hurt Evelyn. Like she thought you were her friend, and that she had a confidant, and then you ghosted her as soon as she got fired. Like she's been like months and months waiting for a response, and you weren't there. And Maddie's like, I know, but things were going on, and she's like, no. Her whole life was at that law firm, and she thought she finally made a real friend with you. So imagine losing both at the same time period. She was devastated. Get out of here. Get out. And obviously Maddie is appalled, and she can't really deny, like, yeah, she's kind of been a bad friend because, you know, she's been so focused on everything. She's kind of been difficult to, like, kind of, you know, keep the real cases going. The real friends going. So it sucks to say about that, but you know, sadly they're back on the drawing board with that. Maddie going back to her house, trying to realize, what can we do? And obviously Edwin's like, well, we gotta find something, because like that's our only real play right now to get her to confess to the DOJ. Otherwise, Julie has to go in and confess on a very weak case. So they really don't have much on their scheme on that right now. Yeah, and also Edwin chimes in also, like, getting some updates. Like, yeah, they told Joey that. They told Augie that Joey is not moving into the house. That's it. That's game over. You know, we're moving on from that, and that's the end of that. And Augie's obviously mad because like he doesn't want to go to Georgia. He wants to stay in New York. He wants to still be close to his dad, and you know, it's not really the best time for him right now. Olympia calls Maddie to give her a little bit of an update. Apparently, there was some really interesting tidbits apparently. From the fact, and I know this is not back to back. This is just something that everything. Apparently, there was like this secret account that, you know, partners would use to quote unquote use it as to gain clients, but in reality it would just be for like expensive dinners, strip clubs, stuff like that. So nothing exactly pertaining to work, just for personal time and leisure. It's like there could be something in there that could kind of give us what we exactly need for this matter itself. Which I believe they have to look into it, and they're trying to figure out who can flip, who can get them the footage to confirm all their suspicions. Because there was a bar tab that same day that Senior touched down in Dallas for a brief bit before he headed off to Australia. So they can get that, and they decide to go after his ex-wife, who's the second ex-wife, the one that we've been seeing for so long. Hopefully, if we can get them to flip, it would hopefully be like a big case scenario on that, that they can might possibly get it in on the footage. And Maddie agrees, and sadly they get a little bit too tipsy on wine. Not tipsy, they got drunk. And they really laugh hard. They really get into it. Even like Olympia calling her her current crush, which I'm like, damn, yeah, I've been through that, like being drunk and calling people that you should not be calling when you're drunk. Yeah, not good time, not good time. Maddie heads back home somehow. I guess Olivia called her an Uber or something. And by the time she gets there, she talks to Edwin while she's drunk, kind of like saying, don't worry, like once this is all over, you're never going to see drunk me again. I'm going to go back to normal, little, boring old Maddie. And Edwin kind of looks at her and like really ponders on that. When we get to the next morning, he cooks her a lovely hangover breakfast and beverage, just to get her back to things. And she was really out of it. They got all the sunglasses to lower down the sunlight pressure. And Maddie's not exactly the best for wear right now. And Edwin has a conversation about her like, I have not seen you laugh that loud since Ellie was alive. You've only laughed at her when she was. And the thing that Olympia gives you that happiness. She gives you that energy to laugh again. I mean, I know I've been a sticker in the mud to getting back to things, but I think it's possible that I would be okay with signing on for a couple more years of Maddie Matlock. And Maddie obviously gets some frills. She's like, are you serious? Like, are you okay with it? She's like, yeah, but I'm not going to do that. Like, I need to be part of your circle. I need to be part of your life. In this pretend scheme, obviously him being in the law firm a couple weeks ago or last week, it kind of gave him the invigoration of like, he's missed out on so much. He's just playing the housekeeper back at the house. And he's like, yeah, so maybe Maddie can just suddenly have a boyfriend that happens to be a good looking IRS auditor that she met at the offices of Jacobson Moore, which would obviously like get Shay off her back officially on that. Should she ever come back into play. And Maddie's like very happy about it. Augie comes down to apologize for his reaction, that he will be content with going to Georgia. I know he knows it won't happen, but he's content with it should that be the possibility. And obviously they calm him down and everything, saying like that will not happen. No worries. They do look at some things with the case. I forgot about the case of the week. I know the next move is Olympia. They try their best, but sadly nothing really is budging right now with that. Olympia did speak to the judge about potentially merging a plea deal on the matter, and it's going to be a 4-year tries-it at a local county, which obviously that's double what they originally was offering not too long ago. But sadly, because of how long the trial's gone for, that they want to penalize him for that, and they're kind of baffled by it. But I clearly forgot before we get to that, Olympia does confirm with Maddie, like there was a very sizable package on the plane that matched exactly to a duffel bag and that amount of money. So definitely 100%. Senior had the money, and he was there with it to pass it to the wall. Now they just need the video footage to confirm all of their presence in that day in the office in Dallas, which is where Olympia goes to have a lunch with Senior's ex-wife, while Julian tries to get both Senior and the wolf drunk. The key thing is that Olympia tells her everything about everything, and her reactions, I'm like, fuck, they fucked up. Because as soon as Julian tries to give the wolf the alcoholic beverage. He says, "I don't drink. It makes me lose control, and I need to stay in control." And that's what Julian's like, "Wait, if you don't drink, then why was the bar tab exactly like?" And that's when Olympia realizes, because that same ex-wife ordered the same exact drink that was on the registered receipt, and she realized, "Oh shoot, you were there." And then as soon as like she slides over the paperwork, she looks at the receipts like, "Oh, okay, so that's over with already." "Yeah, no, I was there. I was the one who gave the money." And Olympia's like, "But how? You weren't even a partner back then." I was like, "No, actually, yeah, I was. That was my first day." That office, senior called everyone there. Apparently, this guy was on his way out for his retirement, and he offered me the job right then and there. But that also meant every single little thing he had under responsibilities and under metrics, I would have to take care of, including the plan to get rid of the Wellbrexa documents. And she had no choice, because internally in her head, she could deny the promotion, but at the same time, she would not be able to implement the change she would love to do at Jacobson Moore. She wouldn't. So she planned to like still stay in power, have some control over something, and then when the opportunity comes for her to do a whole big takeover, and her plan is to Olympia's like, "Look, we don't say anything. Don't go to the DOJ. Let's leave it as is. Senior's going to retire. He's you Julian, just forget about him. He's going to eventually be a lonely old man." And from there, I can make a couple calls, plead to the case that there's a conspiracy, and that will essentially get the original partners out of the way, and then she'll take over as majority, and then she can like redo the entire firm and like kind of really cause real change. And that only starts if Olympia doesn't say anything. And Olympia said, "Well, what if I don't accept the deal?" She's like, "I will not out you. Do not worry about me betraying you, but I will not protect you. I will not help you. You are on your own. So you have those two options. That's it." So sadly, Olympia's thrown in a loop on that one. Sad to say. So then I believe from there, yeah, so they're kind of now back in the pickle where like, so with everything being said, I know Maddie goes to visit Evelyn again and gives her like the lowdown and everything, like trying to apologize for her absence. Like, it wasn't because of you. There's so much things were going on with Augie, and like I couldn't be a friend to anyone. I had to be a caregiver first. I was like taking up so much of my time. And Evelyn buys it, and she's just like, "Yeah, no, I understand. It's just I may not understand fully, because I never had kids, and this entire thing of my life has been questionable, because I gave my entire life to the firm, and they threw me away, and I thought I made a real friend in you, and you abandoned me. So it's like I didn't really have much of another option. I didn't." And Maddie, sees that, and she's like, "If it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for my boss, if it wasn't for him picking me out, where would I be?" And honestly, it's a very sweet story. It really is. And Maddie gives him the best. And Maddie's like, "Well, it hurts me to say that." And she has like a file on her thing of like potentially what the next steps would be with that one. So it seemed like she might head up to it. And that's when we get to the moment where Olympia gives the plea deal offer to her client, and he's like, "Just can I get some time? This is a big thing, because like if I say yes, I'm going to jail. So it's like I need to pick this out. I need to really think about this." And she agrees to give him that, and they leave. And Maddie tells Olympia, I think you should take her offer. Let Senior walk. Take care of the senior partners, and then from there take over the company, and then become get to do what you really want to do. And she's like, "Why? Like, there's still a chance. Like, we could still build the case." And Maddie's like, I think that with everything that's happened, there's still a chance for us to work together under the same parameters. Edwin gave me the sign up that I can continue being Matlock for a couple more years. And we could still work together here at the firm together. And Julian gets to still keep his license. He still gets to keep practice. We still get to keep this dream team together alive. But of course, Olympia says the first thing that popped to mind is like, "But you'll be giving up the case. You like Ellie will never be avenged, because Senior would still walk away free." And she's like, "I know, but the entire thing has led me to now where I met you. I'm in New York. I'm living a dream to be here. It's like, I think it's worth the risk. And Julian comes in at the same time thinking like, oh, are you just giving up? No, I could still get a wire. I could still get confession. Like, give me a little time. We still have a little bit of time left. And I was like, no, I think it's time for me to really accept how it is and move forward in the right way. Because she doesn't want to give up the Maddie Matlock dream. She doesn't. And she knows if she continues down this rabbit hole the next couple of days, she is going to lose that. And then she'll be back at square zero forever. So this is her only real game plan, so to speak. So they're really up the hill on that. And that gives Maddie and Olympia the opportunity to how to end this case once and for all, where Maddie calls up someone from LaGuardia. He takes home one of the pressure tubes that is used for the scaling of the ramp, putting in the exact same temperatures as the night before. And once he does that and he runs the next morning test, the liquid fluid the fluid that would actually give the consistency to be how it is for the ramping was frozen solid. And obviously now Monica's like, that is circumstantial because we have the official report. It was good. And it's like, yeah, it was good in a temperature regulated environment. You're talking about leaving the ramp overnight, them using that same ramp. No, it was not ready to go. It should have been in that temperature control room until the moment it was ready for use, not before, because we always try to cut corners to save time and money. So someone died because of the company's mistake, not because of the worker. So it's implied off screen, but yeah, they won the case because of it. So well done for that portion of it. Maddie's in the elevator. It's the day of the merger, Senior's retirement, so much going on. Maddie has like her last chat with Senior. Senior's like not even giving her the time of day, just like, I'm just reading my retirement speech, ready to get it off the wagon and to move forward from this. Maddie trying to go in quick for a sneak peek. Doesn't work. Senior's like, you'll hear it with everyone else. They hit the party. Julian pulls Senior aside to talk to him about something urgent. That's when he tells Senior like, hey, look, someone from the GOJ, they reach out to me. They say they want to question me about the Will-Brexit document. And that's when Senior gives him a confusing face. It's like, the Will-Brexit documents from 2010 that you told me to go get rid of from our storage and dispose of it. Remember that study? And that's when Senior immediately rips off his shirt, revealing the wire. He grabs the wire. He breaks the wire. He's like, you son of a bitch. You were trying to train me, your own father. And he's like, well, look what the damage you caused. Millions of people die because of your choice. And he's like, that's irrelevant. I know this would have, I should have put Park on the assignment. I should have left it on them, and this wouldn't be happening right now. But no, you want to impress your daddy. So here I am now dealing with a leak again. This can't be happening. It's not. And then obviously Julie's throwing random suggestions like, I'll go to the higher partners on this, and so you're like, they know as well. You have nobody here that's going to help you with this, with any sort of power. Everyone knows about this. You just gave up everything for nothing. And Senior walks away in disappointment on him. And it's like, damn, that kind of hurts. Not going to lie to you. Good news for Hunter, though. He has been officially approved for the post-merger, so he will be staying on board, which is great. Hopefully, maybe he gets promoted. We will see all about that very soon. He goes to talk to Sarah, who apologizes over everything. And, that sadly, this is something that she might be getting used to again, of this personality trait. And, that she apologizes to Hunter about it. And that there might be more on the way. And Hunter's like, well, maybe I'll leave beforehand because I don't deal with that type of vibe. I really don't. That's when Senior gets on stage. They unveil the logo. Everything's ready to go. Maddie and Olympia leave after Olympia has one more conversation with Senior's ex-wife. Because I can't watch this. Knowing what I know, I can't let Senior take the high ground here. And she's like, I know. But hey, after this day, he's out of our lives. Then from there, Maddie and Olympia go downstairs. They're like, it is what it is, sadly. We just gotta move forward from it. So from there, they're hitting the lobby, and that's when Gina Rodriguez's character appears from with her entire FBI NYPD crew. Apparently, they got what they need. Apparently, Maddie dropped this a damn recording mic in the form of a pen into his pocket when she leaned forward in for the to look at the speech. And of course, even though that senior broke the primary wire, the pen wire was still working, which caught the entire thing, his entire confession, his admission of the whole thing. And obviously, that's what Rodriguez's character needed. So they burst upstairs, heading upstairs while Maddie and Olympia head out. Storming the building, getting to the party room, immediately arresting Senior, immediately arresting all the partner, the ex-wife. Immediately is like, I want to make a deal. I'll say anything. Don't worry. I'm going to make a deal. Julian is also cuffed up and saying like it was worth it as Senior gets dragged away with the wolf. Maddie and Olympia are like just now talking about like what's next, because most likely it's going to get outed. Like they're the ones who leaked the information and everything. They're not going to have jobs at Jacobson Moore anymore. They're not going to stay on board. So they're getting ready for like, maybe Julian will be our first client damn, I forgot Olympia's last name. I really forgot. I'm sorry. Olympia and Maddie's new firm together. As we get one more quick aside, back to Maddie's house, where Sarah and Evelyn are both at the door, where Edwin responds and opens and reveals like, yes, this is the house of, of this person, but I'm Edwin. I'm also Maddie's husband. And that's when Sarah kind of looks in the shot, saying what Evelyn is like, yeah, but you may know her better as Maddie Matlock, admitting to them like, yes, Maddie is actually Madeline Kingston. So now Sarah and Evelyn know the truth. Well, what will they know officially on paper is going to be unclear. But yeah, so that's a wrap. Senior and the partners get arrested, sadly with Julian as collateral. Maddie and Olympia are preparing for the bright future ahead with both of them at the helm. Then walking away from the building, and that's a wrap on the second season of Matlock. This was a really fantastic finale. I really loved it. I love seeing, Maddie getting closure on all regards, getting the last piece she needed, which was the potentiality of moving forward in a different way. And even though she got what she wanted at the end of the day, it's still counted towards like, part of her character. Like it's like her grief has finally moved past her. She's at the next stage where now she can probably chart her future ahead. Even if it's not for a long period of time, Edwin Owen gave her an additional 2 years, at least for something of that regard to be able to keep moving forward on that. And, Senior getting his end game, Julian getting some closure as well, like finally standing up to his dad. And, everyone like, the truth is kind of out, and that kind of sets the stage for a very, very interesting season 3 that I am very looking forward to once we roll into 2027, which is still a bummer. 7 months at least. We don't have a return date yet. They're just about to break the writing. But considering all they've done to get season 2 the way it is at the end of the day, honestly, give them the break, give them the time they need. I will wait for season 3. Well, we have plenty of other things to do until then. But once again, this was a fantastic finale. Shout out to the entire cast, the crew, the staff. Like this felt like a mini series finale, even if it didn't feel like it. And honestly, I am well looking forward for the day when we come back for season 3, as well for the day that I get to rewatch this season and re-review it. But yeah, no. This was perfect. This was beyond perfect. They made everything work. Everything wrapped up perfectly. And it sets the stage for an even interesting, more different 3rd season. But with all that being said, I'm giving this finale 2 thumbs up. Let me know down below what you think of this week's episode. This finale of Matlock. Did you love it? Or did you love it? Let me know down below. We'll love to have a conversation with you about it. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 2nd season of Matlock. If you want to know what we're doing normally on What's the Two besides our Matlock episode reviews, we are doing rookie reviews each and every week after Brandon says on ABC. But if you don't care about Matlock, you're still in luck. We'll be back very soon with our season 3 prediction. We'll have a lot to say about what's in store for season 3 coming up. And then after that, you will get a season 2 non-spoiler review edition, which will be mostly for the audience who has yet to watch the entire second season, which will be available on Paramount Plus and eventually at some point later this year on DVD at some point. But that's a wrap on Matlock beyond that, and that was it for the episode reviews. So thank you so much for watching this year. If this is the end of the road for you for now, I'll see you guys in 2027 for season 3. So hope the rest of your year goes well. Hopefully I'll have more crazier things to announce by then in terms of like my personal life. This time of year was like very, very like, like we started this season for me as an unemployed person, and now we're ending the season off with me being employed again. So it's like we win a whole cycle here, and I am very much looking forward to what is next for where I am when season 3 starts up. If you're still gonna stick around for the next couple of weeks, I'll see you guys till then. But again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting this season of Matlock, for all the delays and waitings. It was worth it at the end of the day. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Like, favorite, share if you want to. Ring that bell. And follow social media for more. But until we see each other again, for some of y'all in a couple of weeks from now, but for most of y'all, next year. But until then, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, peace out.